Sanbonani, Molweni, Absheni, Lochani, Hoyomora. Hello, hi. Welcome to the second episode of Unveiled with Z. And today's episode is about parenting. Yeah, so I'm no expert at that either. I've been a parent now for, 22 years, I think? Yeah. And still I can't say I master it. In fact, I think yang shayanje. But anyway, in my intro, I had said that I went for a workshop at Raima Musa, and the workshop was called STEP, which is short for Systematic Training for Effective Parenting. Systematic Training for Effective Parenting, and that's STEP, right? And I had promised that I will come and share what I learned. Of course, I had a manual that they gave. It's not a lot, but I went through it. And yeah, so I think in a nutshell, what this manual says is that parents, change your behavior. It says, parents, be a little bit more calmer. Listen to your words when you speak, or before you speak, think about what you're going to say. They talk about reflective listening, and that says to the child, well, I've been heard and listened to, and the parent I'm speaking to understands what I'm saying. I'd like to read to you just a few guidelines. Now they call it guidelines for parents. They say effective parenting requires patience. And it says becoming liberated through democratic relationships makes all the members of the family more responsible and more capable. Democratic relationships. Underline it. And then it says your reactions and feelings about a child's misbehavior point to the purpose of that behavior. It says a lot, and then it goes again and says withdraw from power struggles. Right? And it has a lot more. And I couldn't help but thinking when I was going through the I don't know if I should call it a manual. I don't think it's a manual. It's just a guidebook, that they gave when we were there. And I can promise you, this maybe was not talked to in detail at the workshop. At the workshop, it was more interactive, what the parents are going through, how they deal with the issues of misbehavior, examples of what happened and what they did, and the psychologists would then just respond to that or further expand on that or give advice. So we didn't really go through this manual. So I thought to myself, I'm going to sit and give myself time and go through the manual, and thinking that I will gain a little bit more. And I read it, and right? Okay. And then right, all the others, sharp. I see emotions are valid. Yes. I hear that. I also subscribe to that. It says becoming an effective listener. Your tone must be proper. Words said must be minded. Concentration, body language, good eye contact, good posture, which says, I'm listening. Yayiva. Imake. Khona lenye man ethi I wanna wait. Standard, avoid, subtle. No, not that one. Okay, maybe a little bit. I'll tell you now. Talks about responsible parenting, yebo. Hayi vele yandihlaba leyo to the core. Ne? Emotions, misbehavior, children discouraged, good parents. Responsible parents give children choices and let them experience the results of their decisions. I know that I don't often give them choices, and therefore that makes me an irresponsible parent. The reflective listening, and when a child says, oh, I don't feel like going to school today, and you must say, oh, it feels like nobody cares about you at school and you feel like you don't belong there. And then the child will come back and say, no, that's not what I feel. I feel, oh, my friends are just... Ulifumanaphi ixesha? Where do you get the time to say, oh, I feel... Kusekuseni. Xesha liyahamba. Kudala umkhwaza lo mntu akade avuke. Ungena ekamereni yakhe, usale. Why are you still in bed? Why have you not woken up? I woke you up 15 minutes ago. You should have made your bed already. I don't feel like going to... Yay! Vuka mina ungandiphambaneli. Wami uyohlamba chinties. Ngolesibini ezinsukwini ubune weekend yonke apha and you did... To me, that is responsible parenting. I don't have time. It's rush hour. Things must happen. Go to work, come back, meetings, don't drop off traffic on our way to driving to school. Tifumanaphi i-time yokwenza responsible parenting and reflective. Yayiva. Uphinde ke ngoku kungene democratic apha uba democratic family and Lezana thina sikhule kusithiwa under my roof. Awusoze uyenze lento uyenzayo. Under my roof, noba uvela emsebenzini ubusebenza ishift kodwa xa ufika if ufike endlini uyintombazana, you are go cook. You are go stand at that stove. Yeah, ke. Thina sikhula kusithiwa kaloku sana. Hey, uyasebenza ngoku. Uzwe wazi ke ukuthi umbane uyathengwa kule ndlu. Ineni ihelper le fanele libhatalwe. Is that not responsible parenting? Because I thought mna uba la ndlela yiyo indlela yokufundisa umntana lo irresponsibility. But now you should actually give, well, according to this, you should actually give them a choice. Oh, I wonder if you would be pleased to maybe, I don't know, contribute to the household? Boarding and lodging, mhlambi. Mhlambi, would you rather just buy the electricity? What would you like? Kuthiwa itone yakho must be, don't raise your voice. Ungabi rhabaxa. Usungxola mutnigeras makni. Now that one. Yabona naye iyandibhida. Because guys, I'm Xhosa. Ne? Xa umbona phi umXhosa wena ungekho rhabaxa? I don't know. Tyhini? Hasi undiphambanela. Yithi ntoni? Hayi, sika. Tyhini, uzondifuna. Right? Now, this workshop says, come back. In fact, no, not come back. It says, come out of yourself. Yeah. Come out of yourself and redo things. Redo things. I don't want to say reinvent yourself because it can't be too much. Redo things. Taking from the first chapter of chakras in the Unblocked book that I also talk about, where it says, childhood traumas that gets deposited into the nervous system comes out in a way of feelings through our bodies at later stages, because not everything that is major is actually trauma, right? You could have been traumatized still in your mother's womb. You could have been traumatized maybe from ages 0 days to 13, 14, 15. Maybe something happened to you that shook your system and your mind was not fully developed at that point to record and store, or uncode and store, and so everything got deposited into the nervous system, and now the nervous system excretes it or take it out as a way of feeling anxiety, depression, and all of these other mental illnesses. And it also talked about, I'm just giving a summary of what I spoke about in the first episode of Chakras. And it also talks about the tribes that you're born into that affect you directly, that becomes triggers of the traumas that you experienced at infancy through our childhood until a certain age. That those actually give rise to the automatic reactions that we find ourselves stuck in through our adult lives, that more often than not creates havoc. I hope ivakele sana ngoba bendikhumsha ngoku. Now, here's another tribe that I think the book forgot to mention. The children you birth. Yabona la tribe sana? You see, that tribe will trigger you to the trickiest triggers you can ever have to awaken all the traumas deposited in your nervous system. Yeah. Oh, okay. Talk to me. Wena usengu adult. Usene trauma ne. Yes, traumas that happened at infancy, childhood, don't. Shambi, the environment was loud. Shambi, your mama had challenges. Shambi, now you still have that unhealed child inside. You're suffering from anxiety, maybe a little bit here, depression. Because depression comes in a lot of ways, yes, and it's expressed in a lot of ways. It can be expressed through perfection. You're this person who always wants to do. You're perfect because it's expressed through the low mood swings, the not being social. It could be expressed through anxiety. Anxiety that you have just by your child going out the street and you say, oh gosh, wow. So it's expressed in a lot of ways. You're still dealing with this depressions, right, from your childhood. You are a parent now, and then you birth this tribe that are going to test you, push the limits, do all of these things that trigger those ones. Now you are dealing with your inner self, and you also have to deal with reflective listening and responsible parenting. Now, okay, yeah, now add on to that mixture single parenting. I can only speak for myself because I was not raised by a single father. So I can't speak for single parenting from a male perspective. I can speak about single parenting from a female perspective. Now, add on to that mix, mingle most of emotions, traumas from your infancy and and the tribe that you birthed being triggers, and single parenting. In households where there is a mother and a father, the other one plays good cop, the other one plays bad cop, and they interchange so that at least the kids have somebody to run to at a particular point. The house is not that hostile. It works. Nguwe lo ngoku uwedwa ngumama khobisi mama ibisi liphelile khosonke mama khosonke idlobhu yophukwile mom there's no globe in the lounge isikolo mom at school they're looking for emsebenzini nanko ibhosi yakho iyakutshutshisa kunyusa phezulu nasezantsi no good for incapacity uyabuya nezomjolo ziyakushuka jonga kukho le nto. Okay, add on to that unabo nabantu abadala nabo abazenzela eyabo apha empilweni yabo, nabo ii-vision zabo namaphupho bayafunda, nabo bayafunda. There's a whole lot on your plate. Whole lot on your plate. And then single parenting too. And absent fathers. It must take a very special kind of human to be able to bear all of that and still maintain reflective listening, democratic relationships in the house, and responsible parenting. And le manual. I'm not. Hey, and as what's the English word for backup? Like I'm not belittling it. Maybe for lack of a better word, I'm not. The manual that is. But I don't think it takes into consideration everything in its entirety. There's a lot that happens to an individual at a particular time. And sometimes these things from these kids, they happen. They just happen. It just jumped in front of me, kind of thing. And you are looking for the next effective way to deal with it. Ngoku. Masingaqhelani kakubi. Jonga. Makube nje ngoku. Bekho nocwangco. And then, ekambeni kwexesha as time goes on, these kids, they get used to your barking. Siyamazi lo uzawufika athi. Siyamazi lo uzawufika athi. Ekambeni kwexesha nawe as a person uyadinwa. You get tired. Please clean up your rooms. Please, can you pick up after yourself? At least, can you take down the curtains and switch on the light? Or can you wash the dishes, please? Do you guys, honestly, you get tired. Uzifikele endlini yakho, you just do. Oh, okay, first razivala ngine-curtains, uzivalele i-curtains, uzivalele ifestire. Oh, okay, hayi le kamire uvala umnyango, utsala umnyango, abantu abadlulayo bangayiboni. Oh, akuphekwanga. Well, uzikhuphele imbiza, uziphekele, uthini ubaphakele nabo, because honestly, uzawuthi nobavimba ukuthi. So you get used to picking your battles and shutting other things out, because you go out at work, you have to fight. There's a lot of things at that tribe there, emsebenzini, you have to fight. You go out, you go into the ndumba. Also, there are a lot of things. There's another tribe also not mentioned in the unlocked book, which is also ancestral calling, because that's also another tribe that you get born into. You pick your battles. Ezi obona ukuthi, well, maybe I can, it's okay, I can do the dishes. It's fine, I'll cook. It's okay, I'll close the curtains and put on the lights. You know what, if she doesn't want her bedroom to be clean, Lord, I don't have the strength today. I don't have the strength. Make me not see it. So you pick your battles. And you pick them to a point where you get used to it. You know that phrase that says you stay too long in poo and it ends up not stinking on you anymore, right? And then you get someone in your life, right? And then you have the someone in your life. It can be a cousin, it can be a sister, it can be a friend, a boyfriend, life partner, a husband, who will constantly compare kids. Constantly compare kids. Like, yeah, my kids would never do that. Yeah, you're just letting them get away with everything. Yeah, no, your kids are abashonipi. Yeah, no, you. Have you been in my shoes? Have you actually taken the time to think about everything that is happening inside of me? Have you been in my shoes? Yeah, there must be boundaries. Yeah, there must be laws. Of course, yes, we agree. Hierarchy, respect, child, adults, it's a top-down, up-down kind of thing. We both must give it. But have you been in my shoes? This is like saying, oh, Chomi, yo, waba flat njena apha esuswini kwenze njani? How do you do it? Hey, I also want to get rid of Lomka. And I say to you, oh, Choms, because I'm in 2 cups of tap water every morning on an empty stomach. Is it going to work for you necessarily? Not really. Why? Because why it might be working for me could be influenced by the type of diet I'm in, as in the food I eat, I consume, how many times I eat per day, what time my last meal is the previous day, in order for the 2 cups of water in the morning on an empty stomach to be effective. And you, maybe my friend, you just eat anything you want, any number of times of the day. Well, you don't mind eating at 10 o'clock at night, and here I am saying to you, 2 cups of water on an empty stomach. Yes, Benzacho. Is that not a recipe to frustrate you? Is it not? Ngoba uzowaselela amanzi uhluthe upipihlelwe bloated uqunjelwe sisisu okanye akulume or whatever that could happen. But mina ndi-confident kule ndaba yothi 2 cups a day, early in the morning on an empty stomach. Zawusebenza tsho. Niyayibona i-complicated kanjani le nto ye-parenting? Niyayibona na uba i-delicate kanjani? Which is why I think I took such interest in the Unblocked book, because I felt there's a lot that is unveiling. There's a lot that I need to know and understand about myself, let alone this tribe that I birthed. Sometimes I sit and I think we actually really have no business being parents, because eneneni, we are angry. We are angry. We really have no business being parents. The poor kids, what we put them under. Yeah, Sisana, guys. At that workshop, something that comes to mind is, as I was driving there, I got this overwhelming feeling of missing my dad. My dad is late. My dad passed on in 2003, if I'm not mistaken. In 2003, my parents were divorced or got divorced, and we stayed with my grandparents in Kimberley for the duration since, I think, standard 1, standard 2. Yeah, since standard 2 in Dongo. Grade 4, I suppose it's known on today's terms. In grade 4, I was staying with my grandparents. until matric or half matric. Then I came to join my mom in Rustenburg and ultimately Johannesburg. So I don't have a lot of memories about my dad. I don't. I remember bits and pieces and, stuff about what we are told growing up. And of course, me being me, it wasn't that easy. I had to go, when he passed, I had to go for counseling because I blacked out at work. I couldn't accept that he actually passed on without having fixed things with us as in his kids. I couldn't believe that he passed on without coming to say, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. In fact, I shouldn't have left your mom. In fact, it was never your fault. Me mostly, because I had a very sickly childhood, that resulted in mom having or dad getting a helper for mom, or two helpers for that matter, because I was hands full, and that altercation there with helpers is what caused the downward slide to their divorce. So as a child, you sit and you think about it, but whoa, mhlawumbe ibirth yami le birongo. For the longest of times, I had to battle or struggle with the thoughts, yoba, if I wasn't sickly as a child, then my dad wouldn't have faltered. They'd probably be still together or something like that. I don't know. So when he actually passed on, I battled. I couldn't even say his name. I couldn't think about him without tears rolling down. The pressure was so much. I blacked out at work, and I was booked off sick, and I was assigned to a psychologist or psychiatrist, and I was told not to come back until I've been cleared by him or her. It was a him, very nice gentleman. And I had to go through that. Fast forward, now I'm driving to Raima Musa the morning of the workshop, and I get this overwhelming feeling of missing my dad. I miss my dad. I miss my dad. I was so teary. And so emotional. I miss my dad. But at some point, I'm driving, I'm thinking, hi man. Can me? Yintoni le ndiyimisishayo kakade? Ngala dude. Sanjuba, kuthi sithethe inyani, yintoni endiyimisishayo ngala dude? Yeah, he was an excellent father when he was around. I mean, brilliant man. Loving also, but very strict. And then I thought, for me to miss this man means I've gone somewhere in my childhood, which means there's still that something there that has not been resolved. Because I can't say I'm missing now as an adult when I have no experience of him in my life as the adult that I am. And I thought, in fact, cut, no, I don't miss him. In fact, no, I don't miss him. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Let's go be a parent and workshop this thing. And that is the kind of mentality that we grew up in. Yazilungisa. Quickly. Jehovah ngathi uyasidetracker. Hey. And how you do it is what must work for that particular time. You're not thinking about long term. You just want to fix yourself here I must get rid of this feeling of missing my dad. I can't, because honestly, how am I explaining it? Why am I missing him? Well, okay. But then, ultimately, when you are calmer, I realized that maybe I was missing being protected. I was missing being loved unconditionally. I was missing not being judged. I was missing being free. I was missing being taken care of. I was missing being made a princess. I was missing being told, you are brilliant. Anything you do, you can achieve. Maybe I was missing a feeling of home. And you have such things from time to time. And a whole lot others that I mentioned that you go through on a daily. You pick your battles. And you do what works. Day in, day out, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. You do what works. Your kids, man, yeah. If only they knew. If only they knew what happens on a daily. Maybe our kids would be a little bit more kinder to us. I was no chola freely. You can't be in relationships freely, Sana. Anything that happens wrong, it's like, yeah, your person. Your person. Your man's. But you see, the strange thing about that is that my sister also experiences that, and she's married, and the kids would do that. Your man's, your person, your boyfriend. So, in fact, it just goes to show ba jonga. Aba bantwana abana cebo. Manual son. And that's just my conclusion. There is no manual. Yes, we go to workshops to better ourselves, but I think this workshop for me, the step one, is exactly as I said when they asked the other time, what do we think the reason is for this workshops? And of course, people had different ideas, better parenting. And I said, I think this workshop or such gatherings are just there so we can know you are not alone. You are not alone. Gone through, gaan weg, parenting sonke. Sonke sa. Ulaki wena, unoyolo, blessed, fortunate. In fact, ungu woman or man of God, if awugowishi parenting. Cela ke undi thumelele notes. Thumelele notes. Udlula umuntu sana epassage. Hello. Yintoni right? Uyaqina uthi upractice i-law apha endlini yakho, ufonelwe ngumama wakho, ngugranny wakho naye. Mama esitshela umntana, yazi abantwana bayakuthanda, yazi abantwana Waarheen is my peace? Ag, ek weet regtig nie. Ek weet nie. So, darlings, you find me or you see me somewhere early in the morning, or you happen to come to my house early in the morning, ufike sana ndiphethe iglass, yes, something. Don't judge. Don't judge me. There is a lot happening. A lot. You find me every day. Sonjaj. Sundi judge. Sonjaj. I need an outlet. We haven't even gotten to instances where this tribe that you birthed, this parenting process, poses challenges of illnesses within the kids. Hospitals, doctors, hospitals, budget, doctors, medications, diet. Stock seal. But ningan koti wrong. I have beautiful support from my mom, darling Nozla, from my sisters, Cups and Sisti, from my brother, Aziz, the most beautiful Malume ever. Shout out Malume. And Desmond, whenever he can, he does. When he's in around the kids, because he's in another country. Yeah, and we in another. So when he is around the kids, beautiful Malume. Friends, Booms, Auntie Booms, V, Pesh, beautiful support. Beautiful support. Daddy, yeah, my stepdad, beautiful support. Yayiva. Akekho umuntu kodwa okwazi ukukhulisa umntana ongengowakhe with the unconditional love and patience. Ngoba xa engengowakho umntana yakhawuleza ukuphelelwa ngumonde. You're quick to judge, very quick to run out of patience. Because kaloku inimba ayo yakho. And I don't know how to say nimba in English, but the umbilical cord, you see the umbilical cord that is attached, that's the nimba. It was not cut from you. So you will not feel the pain of a child that you did not birth as much as you would feel the pain of a child that you actually birthed. It's human nature. Parenting, bazalwane. Parenting zihlobo zami. Ningasijaji xa nisibona sihamba sitsikinya dihlotshe okare lalela. Parenting. And that concludes my episode on parenting. You want to interact on it, drop me a comment. You want me to revisit it, you want to offer yourself as or for an interview regarding this, lalela, you are welcome. I'm free, I'm open for any suggestions. So yeah, and that's my 2 cents worth. Cheerios, everybody. Thank you for listening. Bye.